inauguration of Joe Biden, and significant to America and American politics, is the fact that Donald Trump is leaving, and that Donald Trump has, I think the way to put it is, slunk out of town as a defeated president who did not win a second term in office. And that is also highly significant for this country. There are a lot of people in the country, and I've spoken to supporters of President Trump, who have also told me they are exhausted, that this has been a dramatic, chaotic, unprecedented presidency with an enormous amount of news, enormous amount of turmoil during the course of the last 4 years, on top of the coronavirus pandemic. And there is a sense that the country is tired and is looking for perhaps a little restoration of normalcy. So there is Air Force One, and he is still president for 1 hour and 3 minutes. Donald Trump is still the 45th president of the United States. His plane there touching down at West Palm Beach. Let's bring in Olivia Troy, who worked for the Trump administration as a Homeland Security and Counterterrorism advisor, and also as a coronavirus advisor for Vice President Mike Pence. Olivia, to make clear to our audience, you left the Trump administration because you did not like what was happening. You had a falling out with the Trump administration. When you watch these scenes now, we have a split screen. We have Joe Biden about to be inaugurated as the next president, Donald Trump touching down in West Palm Beach, defeated as a one-term president. What do you think got us here? Why is Donald Trump on his way to Mar-a-Lago and Joe Biden is about to be sworn in and on his way to the White House?
I think this is representative of what this country has endured these past 4 years. Right? I think Donald Trump is exhibiting the same characteristics that he has exhibited his entire tenure in office. And I'm not surprised to see that he would still not appear at the inauguration. And to be frank, I'm not sure that any of us wanted him to be there. This is a new beginning. It's time for our country to begin to move forward. We have to hold him accountable still, I think, today. I think we have to hold those that enabled this moment, those Republicans that allowed this to happen in this moment accountable still. But for today, this symbolizes a break away from this president and this horribly dark and sad period for us.
Olivia, we're just seeing in the Capitol, Mike Pence, the vice president, still vice president, arriving. He is the representative today of the White House and of the Trump administration at the swearing in of Joe Biden. Has Mike Pence changed his position in history with his actions over the last few weeks and his falling out with President Trump on how to fight the election result?
I certainly think he has. This is a man who has endured every day with this president, right? He is at no less than 50 feet from this man. He has seen it firsthand. He has seen what the president was truly like on a daily basis. He was certainly at times fully pushed aside. But he was also the calming voice in the room at times. And so I'm not surprised to see the vice president doing the right thing in this moment, holding the office with the decorum that he knows it deserves. And he knows that this country is in a very dark place right now. He knows that this is the moment to move forward. And I think it is right for him to be there today to show support for this incoming president, knowing everything that he will inherit.
Olivia, you served with Vice President Mike Pence on the coronavirus task force. The number one thing that Joe Biden needs to do from today, when he becomes president, is handle the coronavirus here in America, improve the rollout of vaccines, improve test and tracing across the country, bring down the number of people who are dying in America because of the coronavirus. What do you think the incoming president can do differently compared to what Mike Pence was doing when he was leading the coronavirus task force in the Trump administration?
Well, the first thing is to speak with a unified voice, right? To tell people the gravity of the situation, to get everyone united behind wearing a mask. A simple issue like that just really created so much division in this country. And also to support the states, support these governors who have basically been played against each other and used as a pawn for the President Trump along the way. who actually did not enable them, right? He didn't support him, he didn't get supplies out at times, he played politics over this virus. And I think the important thing is to put the politics aside at this moment, to get this vaccine distributed, get PPE out to the people that need it, and really to start to come together as a country to fight this virus together firsthand.
Okay, Olivia Troy, thank you very much for joining us. We're keeping an eye on both of these images for you. On the left-hand side of your screen, you're seeing the door of Air Force One, which is where President Trump will come down those steps to begin his life as former president, as citizen Trump in Florida. He'll be moving into Mar-a-Lago. He has a private apartment there in Mar-a-Lago. He and his wife will be moving in there. On the right-hand side of your screen, we see the Capitol building here in Washington, D.C., where dignitaries are gathered. There is Mike Pence, the vice president, still vice president of the United States under Donald Trump. He did not go to Andrews Air Force Base to say goodbye to President Trump. He did not go to the White House this morning to say goodbye to President Trump. He has been a loyal foot soldier for this president, defending his many controversial policies, the separation of families at the border, the ban on people from majority Muslim countries entering the United States early on. Mike Pence stood by Donald Trump throughout his presidency, but he broke with him on the issue of whether the election was free and fair. And Mike Pence just would not go as far as Donald Trump wanted him to go in fighting the election results. And here he is. He is the representative of the Trump administration on that platform. He will be standing in effectively for Donald Trump to pass the baton from the 45th president to the 46th president. We are then expecting, after the Pences, the running order that we have been given by the White House is that we will have the vice president-elect Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff. They will be the next to come out. There's Bill Clinton, George Bush just behind him. And it is an extraordinary scene, this, as we watch power in Washington, power in America is shifting. It is shifting from the left-hand side of your screen to the right-hand side of your screen. It is shifting from Donald Trump, who is leaving office, defeated as a one-term president, to Joe Biden, who has, on his third attempt for the US presidency, will finally be taking the oath of office as the oldest president ever in American history, and he will have a vice president who is also making history as the first woman and the first person of color also as a vice president. We can speak now to Stephanie Rawling Flake. She is former mayor of Baltimore and was close to the, I'm going to, 1 second before we go to the mayor, because there is Donald Trump, who we're talking about a split screen. Melania has changed. She was left Washington in a black, this is Melania Trump pays close attention to her clothes. She has left in one rather somber outfit. She has arrived in Florida in a suitably sunny dress. Perhaps no secret that Melania Trump is happy to be leaving Washington. She was never particularly keen to take up her position in the White House. She liked her life as a private citizen in New York, and now she can resume life as a private citizen down in Florida. So that's it. Donald Trump gets into his SUV and he drives off to Mar-a-Lago. And we can say goodbye to the Trump presidency. It is perhaps as important a moment in this day in American history that the country is saying goodbye to Donald Trump, who has left without even attending the inauguration of his successor, and that his family is leaving too. His family also broke precedent by having members of the family there in offices right next to the president in the Oval Office as his advisors, and that they will be scattered around the country. Many of them perhaps have political ambitions. There could be some Shakespearean rivalry there between those siblings, Ivanka, Don Jr., even perhaps Eric, who all have political ambitions of his own. Still president at the moment, so he still gets the trappings. You can see there is the president's seal on the door of the SUV. He has the flags, and for another, what are we looking at, 58 minutes or so, Donald Trump is still president. In the Constitution, power does not, whenever the oath of office is taken and there's been some dispute because under our timetable that we have, it looks like Joe Biden might actually take the oath of office before midday here on the East Coast of Washington, D.C. That does not make him president. The clock will make Joe Biden president. Donald Trump stops being president at noon, and his successor takes over after that. And Donald Trump has gone. We are back to Washington, the new power here in Washington, and Stephanie Rawlings-Blake, former mayor of Baltimore, joins us. Mayor, it is worth us closing the page on Donald Trump's presidency and seeing that he has left and it is a very important moment in politics in this country that Donald Trump has kind of slunk out of town on this inauguration day as a defeated one-term president, because he has been such a tumultuous figure in American politics.
Definitely. His presidency has been pretty much a disaster. The esteem of our country around the world has been diminished. And I think it is time for us to reassess the strength of our democracy and see if we can move together as a united country, the United States.
Can I ask you about the incoming president and the incoming vice president-elect? You worked with them on their campaign. How much is going to change now in the United States with a new team?
So much is going to change, primarily because the Biden-Harris administration is committed to putting the best and the brightest people with experience in positions of power, which is
hold on
starkly
one
different.
second, Mayor. Here is Kamala.